Sir, you are not.
Can you see the screen?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, 1 second. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. May the whole world enjoy prosperity, happiness, and peace. Be blessed by the divine. குருவலியாய குணங்களில் நின்று கருவலியாய கணக்கை அறுக்க வருமொழி வளமாக அறிவு அறிந்து அன்பு வழி குரு அருளும் குருவே அடிபணிக்கின்றேன். குரு வாழ்க, குருவே துணை. Good morning to every one of you. Always it's very honor to be with all of you. A beautiful body will change over a time, but a beautiful soul will always remain. So we have to work on minute by minute to have a beautiful soul that people crave for your vibes. This is just a glimpse of soul's power. To me, the power of soul is not just making others craving for your positive vibration. To me, the power of soul is infinite in its potential in all dimension, whatever you are looking for in your life. The power of soul is infinite. Are you joking? Not only this question today's youth will ask, they may ask a very fundamental question. First of all, does the soul exist or not? What science says about the existence of soul, the functioning of soul? That is the topic for today's discussion. But I put the topic as scientific research so far about the soul. The word so far. Why I use the word so far? Because scientific research is still incomplete about the existence or the functioning or the potential of the soul. So they keep researching it. What I am going to share is based on 2025 one conference, one doctor, whatever he presented. I am just taking the entire content about the scientific research is from his presentation. What are we going to discuss today? First of all, what is the soul? What science says about the soul? They have many approaches might be, but broadly 2 approaches. What are those 2 approaches about the soul? And is there any scientific evidence that yes, soul exists, full stop? Unless science proves it, even a 5-year-old boy is not going to believe it. So we need science today to take the spirituality or to contribute for the world peace. Dr. Michael Ignor, he is 40 years of experience in neurology. He had done more than 7,000 surgeries in the brain, and he had a peculiar interest to research whether soul exists or not, if it exists, where it exists, what are the functions of soul, how can we prove it, yes, it exists or not. And he presented a paper this year, May, in Dallas. They had a conference on science and faith. So where there is a faith, what science talks about it? Actually, this should be the future for world peace. Spirituality and science, if it can come together, really the world peace is immediate. So really he made a lot of effort to make this bridge happen to a larger extent, though it is still incomplete. So all my content about research is based on Dr. Michael Egnor's presentation in Dallas. And he also tried to identify what is the connection between brain, mind, soul, and consciousness. This is his objective for all his 40 years of, research. And he put a question, what is the role of brain? Is it an organ of so-called mind or not? He is trying to prove that yes, it is or it is not. The beauty is, being a Vethathirium, once we know deeply the concepts of Vethathirium, we will know the answer for question number 4 very, very easily. Whether brain is an organ of mind or not. You all think for a minute, think, and find out yes or no. And also, what is the connection among brain, mind, soul, and consciousness? We all know that. When I was going through his papers and the presentation, I felt like I am already a scientist, medical scientist, because this guy is trying to find will it happen or will not happen. And being a Vedathirian, we know what they will find out. That is the beauty of power of Vedathirium, which you will see today how blessed we are to have Vedathirium knowledge with us. So we will also discuss about what Vedathirium talks about to this existence of soul, power of soul, or functioning of soul, and what science is trying to prove it. What will be the result of those scientific researchers? As I said, the gap is coming down, right? And he is a Dr. Michael Egnor, and this is a photograph when he presented this year in May in Dallas in the conference. Before we jump into that, what medical science talks about brain, mind, consciousness, all that. Forget about the soul, right? Because for scientists, unless they see something through the eyes, through the equipment, they are not going to prove it. They don't care about the hidden things. Hidden things, maybe divine is there. No, unless they have some evidence to prove that yes, it is there, they are not going to do that. Whereas the whole research is about that, right? So let us understand what the science today found about the function of brain in our lives, right? So brain has many parts, as you can see here, and this particular part they call cerebrum, which is responsible for my personality, my thinking, my planning, whether I can solve a problem or not, all those related to this frontal part, this particular part of the brain. And if you see this part, they call that as a cerebrum. It controls, now I move my hand, so it controls the movement. I feel pain, I feel taste, all my senses, sensual organs are reporting to this particular area of the brain. And this, the backside part of cerebrum, it controls my memory, it controls smell and seeing, sight. And this part controls muscle movement, the balancing of the muscle movement, right? If I get up, I should not fall down. So this particular area of the brain is making sure I don't fall down. So it balances the muscle movement, muscle structure, and all that. And this particular portion, this is called a brainstem. And from here, the brainstem, the whole brain is connected to the entire other parts of the body through this spinal cord, which we all know that. And the brainstem is the main connection, junction between the brain, like a control center, to the other parts of the body, right? So it controls all the automatic things which is happening in our body. Everything is through this brain stem. And this part controls my hearing ability, my speaking ability, and things like that. So if you see, for example, from this understanding, from this scientific findings, if somebody got damaged in an accident, this particular part is gone. We have seen a movie there, he forgot everything just because he fell down while playing cricket, right? And so the memory is gone. So he doesn't know who is his wife and who are you? He will ask his wife, who are you? and friend, who are you? All that, everything is gone because this part is damaged, right? So if some portions of the brain are damaged or not there, or it's not functioning, then this function will not exist. This is the understanding of science, right, today. Let's move on. And the same brain, if you see from top, and this is a top view, you can see as two hemispheres are attached together. So one portion on the left side, one portion is on the right side. In general, you can also see the left side is responsible for some logical thinking, analytical thinking, etc., etc., and this right side is responsible for your emotions and all those. So you can see left side of the brain, right side of the brain. And now, with all that understanding, how the science developed their research about the existence of soul, and the first thought process started in 1838. This guy is a railway worker. He's a railway foreman, and he has to stop if big rocks are falling on the railway track. So there are a couple of people always engaged in it because they don't know when that will fall down. So they have to identify those, break it, and dispose it. That's their job. So they use explosives, and they use this steel rod, you can see there, to make a hole in a big rock. Once the steel rod goes maybe 1 feet, 2 feet inside, they put the explosive there, bomb, and then they fire it. Then the explosives make the rock into pieces so that they dispose it. Otherwise, the entire rock can damage the railway track. That was his job. But when he was doing it in the year 1838, accidentally, that explosives, exploded before that. And what the rod he had on his hand somehow went up, and then it went into the brain, and it got into his left eye. Through the left eye it came. So you can see the picture there. Earlier days, no such medical technology or photograph and things like that. This is the one. They could take the photograph of his bone after he died. So that was his picture, you can see there. So the rod went in like this, and there is a hole here, and the left side eye is out, and this particular portion of the brain is entirely damaged because it went down. And when this guy, the accident happened, immediately the people around him, he took to the nearest medical hospital. No MRI, no X-ray, and things like that. The doctor did something, and he survived. And the most beautiful part of that is he lived 12 years after that. Though 1/4 of the brain is totally out, not there at all. How he could live 12 years after this accident, and they found everything he has been doing as earlier, except only one thing: emotionally, he became more vulnerable. That means he never got angry earlier, now he got angry frequently. He became short-tempered after that accident. That's all. That is the only difference. Otherwise, in terms of thinking process, feeling process, everything remains same, except this particular emotional aspect of his personality got changed. So this made the scientific medical community to think, then what is the role of brain? Even if it is not there, this guy is doing everything all right, then something, our understanding is incomplete or not correct. So they started researching on that from year 1838. Now I am going to share what that doctor told, shared, Dr. Michael shared. Uh, that this doctor, he did 7,000 surgeries in brain. So all these photographs, MRIs, are from his research paper. Okay. Now, of course, he changed the name to a different person. And the right side picture is a healthy brain. And you can see the brain, everybody, means every part is very clear. And this is a stem, brain stem. It goes to the spinal cord and it communicates to the entire body. This is a healthy boy, healthy man. Sorry, she's a lady. Okay, now if you see here, this particular girl, Cindy, and is a young lady. And what they found with when she went into the hospital, they found that 75% of the brain, it's not working. And they say that cerebral fluid, there is a fluid, a special fluid, which is there. And we all, Vethathirium, we know that it is a SVF, vital fluid, right? Anyway, so that only that was there. The real neuron network, the real brain, no, all got replaced with this particular cerebral fluid there. But she was okay. She went into the school, she completed the school, and she was doing all her work normally. They were all surprised. What happened to how come this is possible? Now, it is a big question mark or big surprise for the doctors. But being a Vedatrium, if you know what is the role of brain, what is the role of mind, what is the role of soul, where does it exist, how it is functioning in our body, you know 100% answer to their puzzles, the doctor's puzzles. How can he work, right? And the another one is a male, Joshua. Here, 60%, this is healthy brain. And you can see here, 60%, 60 to 70%, 60% of the brain is filled with water. Not even that spinal fluid, the cerebral fluid, SVF. No, it is just a water. Okay. And this guy, when the boy was born, they went to the doctor because he had a lot of issues. And then they took the MRI. They found that 60% of the brain is dead. And so the parents, they told that please kill the child because he will have a very tough life even if you can make him alive. So please do this out of compassion. You don't want a big suffering, please. That was a request of the parents. But the doctor didn't do it. They did their best and they sent him back to home. And to their surprise, they have been monitoring it. This fellow excelled in sports. So he was doing great achievement in sports activity. And if you see, if you have to excel in sports activity, not only one side of the brain or both the sides of the brain should work, both the sides of the brain should coordinate with each other. Otherwise, excelling in sports is impossible without proper coordination of both the hemispheres. But if you see here, this is a hemisphere. The left side is here, right side is here. Dead. 60% is dead. Only this portion, and that too in this portion also dead. So only in this portion it is not working. Sorry, it is working, and that fellow is excelled in sports. Another puzzle for the medical community. She is another lady. Here only 25% brain is dead. This is a healthy brain. This is the damaged one. And this particular portion is dead. And to their surprise, she passed MA literature with very good marks. And if you see the old thing and some memory and all that is related to this particular area actually. But she passed MA literature. So all these three findings really they were started trying to find out what's happening here. How can this happen? That means what we are thinking, brain is a sole important key control center for the entire functioning of the body. No, not true. And not only in these three, because whatever I am presenting, it is from the Dr. Michael. In 2014, 24-year-old Chinese lady went to the hospital saying, I have a continuous sneezing, cold. And why you have continuous cold? Okay, let's take a CT scan of the brain. So, they took a CT scan of their brain, and what they found, the cerebrum, the in the first photo we saw that, right? Top, middle, and bottom, completely absent. It is not at all there. They said that she was born without cerebrum. Yeah, this particular portion is not at all there, and she is living, she is doing everything okay, except some nausea problem that we also, common man with 100% brain activity, also gets it nowadays. Particularly after corona, it become more and more common nowadays. But if you take a CT scan of brain, completely all right, right? So there are so many cases what doctors, they could not find real answer for those puzzles. And here is another interesting case. They say that hydranencephaly, whatever the name it is, the medical name it is. And here, if you see, this is a healthy brain. Here, both the hemispheres of the brain dead, except the stem, and little bottom part of the brain is still acting. You can say that almost 90% of the brain is dead, and both hemispheres are out of the order. No communication, nothing is there. And this guy, you think he will be able to think, he will be able to feel, he will be able to do analytical work, he will be able to remember anything. And you see all the brain functions of each part, 90% dead, only 10% is there. So what do you think this person will experience in his life? You just think, you don't need to share with me. I will give 30 seconds for you to think what would be the findings of this particular, what would be the findings of this person, or normally with all the scientific expertise we have, knowledge we have, how this guy can live. What will be the nature of his life, the performance or the personality or the memory, concentration, analytical thinking, and all those things. If you try to find out answer, if you medically one answer, as per Vethathirium, what would be the answer, right? In order to understand what would be the answer of Vethathirium, let's discuss now Vethathirium concept thoroughly. Just, you all may know it, but I'm just going to remind you, no, make you remind the concept. Big wedding halls, there is a big kitchen area where so many people are preparing food, and they are sending the food to the dining area. And also in the wedding hall, the bottom picture on your right side, function is going on where the juices are distributed continuously throughout the function, only during lunch time, breakfast time, dinner time, and the food is served here. And we all know that, right? So here, from kitchen, food is also prepared, juice is also prepared. Food is going to some part of the hall, which is a dining area. Juice is going to the main hall of the function. So food is here, juice is here. And here you see dining table. Assume that there are 100 tables. Each table, 3 people can sit. So 300 people can take lunch in that dining area because there are 100 tables out there. Now, you just imagine or replace the kitchen. Oh, okay, fine. See here, if you know Vethathirium, biomagnetism is produced in our body and it is circulating throughout the body. And assume that the biomagnetism is coming from our genetic center, which is the center of the biomagnetic body. And whatever there in the genetic center, whatever prepared in the kitchen, either juice or idli or chapati or whatever it is going to the wedding hall, dining area, as well as the hall. Similarly, the biomagnetism in our body from the genetic center, when it passes through the brain, which is a dining table, it functions as thoughts. When it passes through all the cells in our body, the mind functions as feelings. That's all. So the biomagnetism which is produced in our body, when it passes through the brain, thoughts are coming. When it passes through the body cells, we get the feelings. When I am talking to you, if there is a small ant on my right toe, I know it without seeing it, but I am able to feel it. So the biomagnetism is going here as well as here and parallelly working. I am able to feel it when I am using my brain. Okay, as simple as that. Now you know what is a soul. Soul is nothing but the genetic center, which is a center of the biomagnetic body. The intensified biomagnetism at the center of the body is called as soul. It is also called as genetic center. And when the biomagnetism passes through brain, it functions as thoughts, and it passes through body cells, it functions as feelings. Now, what is mind according to Maharishi? We know what is soul. Now, according to Maharishi, what is mind? Assume here the people who are eating are my senses. Ears, ears, eyes, nose, tongue, touch sense. All those five senses are the people who are eating the food which is coming from there, right? Even you can leave that part. Mind is the coordination or the integrated function of genetic center, biomagnetism, and brain and body cell put together is called mind according to Vethathirium concept. Because mind has two functions. One is thinking, the other is a feeling. For feeling, it goes through body cells. For thinking, it has to go through the brain. For example, if there is no dining table, nobody can eat. If there is no brain, thought will not come. And we know that when brain is dead, coma stage, they are not able to think. So thoughts are not coming. That's clear. And if the entire body anesthesia is given, you can puncture it, you can do surgery, nothing, feelings are not there. So we know that. So it passes through the body cells. We are able to feel the pain. And I don't want to feel the pain because doctor is going to do some surgery. So he put some injection here so that the biomagnetism which is passing through the cell neutralized. Finished. I have no feelings at all. Whatever doctor wants, he can do anything. So we know what is happening and we understand Vethathirium concept, how it is matching with the reality. So we know that. Now, for example, if this particular dining table is damaged, area is damaged or a table is damaged, out of 100 tables, 50 tables are damaged. Still, he will get thoughts. Still, 50 people, 150 people can eat. Now the whole dining area is the brain. So now I am trying to, why this example is given. If the dining table is 100% okay, yes, you will get thoughts. If the dining table is 50% dead, brain is 50% dead, still you will get thoughts, mind will function. If the brain is 98% dead, still the biomagnetism will go through one part of the brain and it will function. According to Maharishi concept, very simple. And if in the hall cells are there, you will have the feeling. This is nothing to do with the brain. In fact, according to Maharishi's concept. Now, if we understand all this, the moment we go to, so we know now, according to Maharishi, what is mind? Now, the brain is an organ of mind or not? Obviously, brain is an organ of mind or not? You please put it in the chat box later. I will answer it whether it's yes or no. Your answer will tell me whether you understood this particular concept in this page screen. You understood 100% or not. Okay. So please put it in the chat box, but I'm not going to wait. I'll continue it. You think about it and put it in the chat box before today. Fine. And we know that what is soul. Sorry, not D, soul. What is soul? Genetic center. Purely we know that. Now come back to the Nicholas, right? And just to give, to recall, this first case, the brain is 75% dead. Still, she is able to go to the school. She lived because only dining table 50% or 70% is out of the order. She still get the food. Still thought will work. And that is what it happened, right? And here 60% is filled with water. and he is able to excel in sports activity. So now 60% of the dining area is closed, but 40% tables are there. Still, people can get food only slowly. And the both hemispheres are not coordinating here. Dead. Medical Maharishi's concept is very clear. Coordination is independent of brain. This is proving that, right? Anyway, so we know it. And here 25% brain dead. So we all know that. Now come to the most critical part of the research, wherein doctor got struck here. 98% the brain is dead. Only brain stem is working. In fact, that's what they said. So whether can he think or not? Can he feel or not? What do you think? You know, according to Maharishi's concept, if biomagnetism goes through the brain, it functions as thoughts. Here, 98% or 100% brain is dead, except stem cell, right? Except the stem, which is connecting to the spinal cord. The rest is dead. And you know what they found? What they found, this guy is not able to think, but he is able to feel everything. He can feel what is happening, but he is not able to think, which is exactly matching with Maharishi's concept. This part is working. This part is closed. So he is not able to think, but he is able to feel. How blessed we are with Maharishi. In order to understand what science is researching it, we need Maharishi's concept. But how Maharishi has come out with this concept, my God. Anyway, so we know what science is trying to achieve and what is their destination. We know the destination. They don't know the destination, but they are trying to find what is the truth. That is what the research is going on. If one of these scientists knows Vethathirium, he can expedite his findings 10 times, at a higher speed. Unfortunately, no. Anyway, so now here, he did a beautiful experiment, research here. Okay. No, about Nicholas, yes, this is the case. Oh, fine. The next one, there are two hemispheres here. And and one of the guy, the brain is damaged, and they know that this guy may not live for 1 year or 2 years or 10 years, whatever it is. You know what this doctor said? He did, I think his name is Roger, this gentleman. What he did, there are two hemispheres, right? So what he did in his surgery, some slight connection was there. There is a connection between left and right side of the brain hemisphere, right? He totally separated both. So it will become left side is here, right side here, but no connection. So now he knows the coordination between left and right is not there physically in the brain part. According to their research so far, left and right, if it is not coordinating, I can't relate so many things. Food is there. I don't know whether I should eat it or not. I know food. I know it is for people to eat, but I don't know. I have a hungry feeling. I should eat it. That coordination can come unless these two are communicating or coordinating and supporting each other, right? So he made a completely isolated both the hemispheres, and now he has to see how the guy is behaving it, how the guy is able to relate things, coordinate things, right? So he showed me a ball, he showed him a ball. He is able to tell, ball, super, yes. He is telling ball because the hemisphere is working, brain is working. Only thing separated, right? So this is another research, he has done it. So he is able to see the ball. Now he is showing the picture of another window where it is broken inside. Yeah, the window is broken. There is a hole in it, the guy is telling. But if we see it, somebody throw this ball on the window, and that is the reason for it. If my connectivity is good between left and right, I will easily relate the ball is the size of the same hole and it is a round, and this is the ball. They hit it and they broke the window. Obviously, this guy should not tell this because both hemispheres are separated. To their surprise, this fellow is able to tell this is the ball which hit it and broke it. Full stop. They have no clue to proceed further. What to research here? Because we are thinking brain is the sole control center for everything, whatever they found, which is not true in this particular case. This is another beautiful, my God, how these doctors are doing research. Really, really, all scientists, excellent. No chance. We can never think. Not never is not right word. It's very difficult for us to think like them actually. This guy, what he did a beautiful experimentation, and his aim is people tell that free will is there. One is a destiny, free will. Destiny means what? This guy has to die now. Cancer has come. 1 year. Free will means he has a control. When I should die, why I should not die now, what work I need to do. Maharishi's concepts, practices, all are aimed to use the free will to change, to decide, to architect our life. We are the architect of our life. So how we can architect? Free will. The power of akamya karma. Akamya karma is a free will in English. Simple. So this guy, he did this experiment in a 90% coma. It happened in 2006, just 19 years before. And see, this is a healthy brain and this is this guy's brain. Whereas 98% of the brain is dead. So what they say, it is called PVS in medical terminology, patients in PVS, that is persistent vegetative state. He will be like a tomato. Nothing is working there, like a tomato. So they named it as a persistent vegetative state. Not for 10 minutes, persistent. All the time the guy is like a tomato. You can't talk, you can't get his feedback, he cannot think, he cannot feel, because 98% of coma stage. He did beautiful experiment with this particular, not one, many cases. And what he did to this vegetative state guy, he says that you have to open the door now. You have to switch on the light, for example. Switch on the light, he says. Of course, he is in coma stage. He can't think. He can't listen. He can't understand anything. But the brain, when he put into the machine there, like MRI scan and all those scientific equipment, when this guy says, switch on the light, there is a magnetic change in terms of magnetism in the brain. Though the brain is physically dead, there is a change in the way he is seeing it. And you know what he did? That is the ultimatum of this guy's research. He created a circuit like one big meal plate, one plate. He took a plate. He made all the neuron network there artificially. Okay. Now, and that wires are connected to the dead brain. So he is bringing lot of wires into this dead brain, coma state, right? Now he knows, for example, one healthy person, when I say switch on the light, what will happen in his brain? He knows what waves are activated, how much activated, which part of the brain it is activated. These guys know it. Neurologists, they know it. Now they created the same similar setup on this deadly coma person, vegetative state person. So instead of he telling switch on the light, he simulated switch on the light, the signal, and that flow, the waves are created there. What he found, that is the most surprising part of this whole exercise. And he is not able to tell the answer, but he knows the answer. And he knows what you are talking. Switch on the light. He knows what he is talking because his thought process is happening and he is seeing the changes in the magnetic pattern inside the brain, though the brain is dead, as per MRI. It's happening. And 9 plus 6, the 15 is the 15 is red in the brain, but he is not able to recognize that and he is not able to that. We know that the biomagnetism goes through brain, only thought comes, whether here is something is happening, so thought is not coming, but changes are happening. But brain is a dead piece, like a tomato. So they concluded something else is there in the body which we can't see it, but it is doing all the functions of the body. This is their conclusion. And not only this guy stopped this experiment like that, he simulated it. Switch on the light. Means he pressed the button, switch on the light. That instruction goes to the brain and he sees to switch on, he has to what the instruction brain should give to my hand to go there, switch. Okay, I have a switch on my hand. I have to press my thumb finger to switch on. Brain has to give the signal. And he found brain is giving the signal through the thumb to switch on. What is happening here? Who is controlling now? Brain is dead, but the control signal is appearing in the brain. He is not able to feel that, but it's happening. Now the ultimate part of his finding is free will. So he says, switch on the light. The instruction is given, switch on the light. And he tells upfront, now I want you to, he is telling to the coma person, okay? He is telling, I will tell, switch on the light, but you decide, no, I will not switch on the light. And it is your choice. Means I will, every 2 minutes, I will tell, switch on the light, switch on the light, switch on the light. You decide whether to switch on or not. You choose, switch on, switch on. You don't want to switch on, keep quiet. So he wanted to know free will is working in this person where dead brain. He found the exact difference what is happening in a healthy person. You tell me switch on. Now I decide I don't want to switch on. The brain pattern is different. Magnetic pattern is different. Now you say switch on. I switch on. Brain pattern is different. My God, exactly similar to a healthy person. The magnetic pattern is same as a healthy person on these two occasions. Switch on, he switched on. Switch on, no, I don't want to switch on. What a great finding. So this clearly tells the free will is independent of brain. Nothing to do with the brain. But something is happening in brain. So they all come to a conclusion. There is something which religious philosophers call that as a soul. And not only soul, it has consciousness. It knows everything. And it can control it controls everything. This is what their final proof. So soul exists and consciousness is there. And where is the soul? It has no place. And when it will function? Beyond time, beyond space. We know magnetism, right? All Maharishi's concept, if you apply it, you will know exactly how true it is, their findings are. Now, this is another medical condition. It's called aneurysm. In this medical condition, I have seen one patient with this in Kerala when I was there for to meet somebody in a hospital. He's a 33-year-old gentleman working in a civil construction company in Trichy, in Tamil Nadu. And the construction company, of course, is putting a lot of pressure to work and to complete so many things. And he is always tensed. And being a project manager, he has to complete that work. This work means he was running like anything, sleeping for weeks, not sleeping at all, and things like that. And one day he was at site and trying to climb up to the one floor. The blood vessels in the brain got exploded. Okay, and immediately those people went to took to the hospital and they did some surgeries, but completely the body is paralyzed. When I met him, somebody introduced me, and I can see he is trying to tell something. he is thinking something because eyeballs are moving it, hands are not moving, fingers are not moving, body is not moving. He is on the wheelchair, and his wife's brother, he was taking care of him in the hospital, and wife has gone to home to, you know, to take care of herself, maybe. So that is the that is a case if this aneurysm is not fixed. What before that happens, what happens is, the blood vessels which is there in the arteries, right? Arteries means good blood is coming from the heart, not impure, pure blood. Now these arteries, for some reasons, the pressure is so high, and it will form like a knot, because the pressure is too much. It cannot withstand. So in the airport we see some people, right? This is the size of the bag. It will be like this because too much content is there, pushing it. Similarly, the blood is pushed to the side of the arteries, and it becomes like a knot. And if still the person is not taking care of it, this will explode. If this explode, brain stroke, brain hemorrhage, all that things will happen. But when people identify in this stage, they do surgery by removing this blood out and things like that. They do a lot of surgery so that the person can, of course, tension has to be stopped for sure. So this is the operation they do it actually. Now, in this research also, how they did the surgery is done like that. There are so many people. You know how they do the surgery? My God, is it possible or not possible? It is possible. This is what done in this particular case. They stop the heart. First, they stop the functioning of the heart. Means the blood has to stop to be stopped, right? In the brain, they have to stop that. So first, heart is stopped. When the heart is stopped, they cool the body to 10 degrees centigrade. The temperature, the entire body is like I don't know how they do it, but they cool the body to 10 degrees centigrade. Once the heart is stopped, body is cool, they have 30 minutes to do the surgery. In 30 minutes, they have to complete everything, restore back the heart functionality, otherwise he will be dead. So in that 30 minutes, they remove the blood from the brain area. Completely blood is removed. Wherever the knot is there, they cut it and do the surgery and things like that. They make the vessels a little bit bigger in size, whatever they have supposed to do it. Then they bring back everything. Heart started functioning, brain started functioning, blood started flowing it. My God, they fixed this in that 30 minutes of surgery. What an amazing technology by humanity, right? This surgery was done. She was a lady. She started a normal life after that. But the most astonishing part for those doctors, the research, is this. This lady, she is able to tell everything what happened during that 30 minutes. As if, and the doctor says like this, Dr. Michael says like this is his wordings, as if somebody is sitting on the top, seeing everything what is happening in the operation theater. That lady is telling what we spoke, what music was going on in the background, and which instrument, how it looked like, and which instrument we had some difficulty in putting it inside the brain. The conversation, the music which was played at a very low voice as a background. My God, she is able to tell everything as if she saw from the top. Whereas brain is dead, heart is dead, no functioning inside the body. Blood flow is stopped. We know if blood circulation is stopped, what happens, right? But she is able to tell everything. And they come to a conclusion. Whatever you see physically in the body, whether it is a brain or anything you name it, beyond all this physical matter, there is something non-physical, which religious people, spiritual people, philosophical people, they call that as a soul. And there is a soul which exists. Number one, not only exists, it knows everything, though it is not inside the body. This is another, they have done a lot of such experiment also with others. Yeah, it's very interesting to read all those knowledge. They call that as NDE, near death experience. The person who went to the edge of the death and come back. then what is his experience, right? See, a near-death experience means you see here the soul leaves the body and then comes back. And when it leaves the body, it can see everything. But the doctors have no clue when the soul, okay, I agree that there is a soul. They concluded, yes, there is a soul. I accepted. But soul doesn't have eyes. How soul can see what is happening in the operation theater? They have no answer at all. So all these things are, puzzle for them. Still they continue the research, but all these near-death experiences, it is not one experiment. More than 100, 200 experiments. I could see more than hundreds of books are available in the market about these near-death experiences. So all that confirm that soul exists. And that is the only difference between animate and inanimate object. Inanimate soul exists. And it has no parts. You can't see it. And it has no location. And it is beyond time. And it functions everything without our permission or without our knowledge, but it does everything. That is their finding. And it can die. Of course, they conclude it cannot die because the person is dead, but soul is functioning. She is able to see it. And is the soul immortal? They found some experiment. The person dies and the soul leaves the body and it is in a big hospital and it went there, comes back. This guy got up and he is able to tell what is there in the tunnel. Physically, he didn't move there. He was brought to the hospital. So they say the soul is immortal. Only physical body dies. And the reason what they give, super. You take a chair, is a matter. And matter is what? Atoms. And matter disintegrate, that chair is gone. You put the fire, chair is gone. All atoms are together, looks like a chair. Now atoms are disintegrated, finished. The atom is dead. So similarly, life is also integration of matter, atoms, and disintegration of matter is death. This is what they know it, right? This is what so far the science says death means the physical disintegration. But now comes soul. It is not as simple as that which is there in the chair, right? So how they compare, how that Dr. Michael presented the case, the soul is immortal. It cannot be destroyed. And how he is telling it, see, if you write in a paper number 8, okay, here is a paper 8, number 8 is there. You put the paper in the fire, 8 is gone, 8 is dead, paper is dead. But now he says, what you write in a paper, put the fire, paper finished. So it is a physical matter. But now I ask you to think number 8. Think number 8. Yeah, I thought. Okay, now erase it, throw it, disintegrate it, remove from your mind. No 8 now. Can anybody tell my number 8 died 10 minutes back? Can anybody tell it? Number 8 died 10 minutes back because I forgot that? No way we can tell it. That is similar to the function of soul. This is what they concluded in their research. So the final conclusion is soul exists, soul knows everything, soul is immortal, and soul is beyond time, soul is beyond space. All these are the findings of that. All these are exactly matching with Maharishi's concept, which I already explained some time back. This is Maharishi's concept. Now the science has to come close to this, then only both people can, both the science and philosophy can merge together. And Maharishi has written in a beautiful poem about what I explained in this particular slide, right? So I just made a loose translation. Divine wisdom. Actually, if you see the title of it, the perfection of consciousness is divine wisdom. Okay. And he says here, divine wisdom. That's another name we call Brahmanyanam, right? Make one to virtually see all appearances, whatever appearances you are seeing it. It's all integrate, a combined play of. There are so many things together it is working, right? Combined play of genetic center, magnetic waves, brain, and sensual organ. So you can see how integrated it's functioning together, right? And in future, he says, All will get this divine wisdom one day, and it will pass to generation to generation. And when it is passed to generation, at one generation, the new baby which is born, he will be like a divine child with entire spiritual knowledge, and he can see everything as a God, manifestation of God. That is a world peace. That is a blissful life. Nobody will try to hurt anybody. And that will happen in future. And for that to happen, this knowledge, the divine wisdom should go to generation. It is not just a question of explaining how the absolute space is manifested into universe and living things. That is the foundation. But we need to take science to today's youth and for future generation. And that was a single objective of my me choosing this topic. So I request take this knowledge to the younger ones, youth, so that they just don't go after science 200%. Science is yet to prove so many things which our ancestors proved it, not proved it, know it, knew it 5,000 years back and 2,000 years back. We need to convey this particular concept to today's younger mind. So with this, I conclude my today's lecture. Thank you for listening. And I asked you a question, I think, if anybody can chat, put it in a chat box.